all Podracing fans. Welcome to the Podracing Weekly Sportscast. I am your host, Gamedraco, and this week in Podracing, we're going to talk about Swiss Bracket Round 3 in summary and the upcoming Swiss Bracket Round 4 final. 3/4 of the way through the Swiss Bracket with Round 3 concluded, and the results on the range are formed of 2 players winning all 3 matches, 6 with a 2-win, 1-loss score, 6 with a 1-win, 2-loss score, and 2 players losing all 3 matches. The players who won all 3 matches so far, in Mikey Berger and Delmarais, will be competing for the Queen Sweep of the Swiss Bracket in this final 4th round. All the matches in Round 3, except for Paige versus Kingbeandip, were either shutouts or forfeits. Forfeits are indicated by the -4-0 scoring, of which there were 2 in Goopbrush versus Mikey Berger and Magius versus Blue. The player most responsible for the match forfeit gets the -4 score. Coincidentally, the sole Round 3 match that was not a shutout or forfeit in Paige versus Kingbeandip brought out a historic rivalry for the first time since 2021. These 2 players faced each other in the first 3 annual tournaments of 2019, 2020, and 2021. Only one race both players did not crash on in Doug Derby, and 2 others came extremely close if it weren't for crashing in Sebulba's Legacy and Inferno. And here we're starting, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like Paige is going to gain a few more seconds on the sync here.
About 4.5 seconds. Ooh, Kingbeandip scraping the Andretti hairpin.
That's a scary hairpin to scrape.
And we see Paige stalled in the roll straight. They're really close to the roll straight. Now they're going to the corkscrew. Ooh! Kingbeandip bumps in the corkscrew. Paige does not.
Kingbeandip taking a lot of small bonks. It's going to make his life a lot harder on laps 2 and 3 to use enough heat. Paige has got
31.
Not a straight-up pace advantage, but definitely a sizable advantage.
Yeah.
In terms of ease of completing the run.
There we go. Second roll straight, followed by the corkscrew.
Cutting the boost there is Kingbean. That will cost him in terms of what he's able to
And
pull
he
out of
scraped
bed.
the corkscrew again.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely struggling for heat, and this is a real advantage for Paige at this point. It's
30, 57, 31, 58. Slight scrape for Paige.
And Kingbean just lost a whole bunch of speed too. This is looking like almost a death's amount of difference between the 2 of them that Paige.
Here we go. Oh, that was
completely clean.
Thanks for the corkscrew with Paige, but she made it.
That was quite beautiful execution to pull off in tournament. Squeezes in.
33.
Very nice. Almost 3 seconds.
Seconds.
Very, very nice indeed.
And the roll straight and corkscrew are the names of those turns on Laguna Seca for real, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, they are legendary. So, already we're at 1-1 in this retro matchup.
Very short, but it's also a very volatile track.
Yes, it is. There's a lot of places that you gotta try to maximize your boost through that could lead to mistakes. That downhill jump is one of them, but both make it through just fine. Looks like we are seeing both players use the upper path. Safe, but slightly longer one. Kingbean comes across the line about half a second faster.
Yep, about roughly half a second. I think it's because Kingbeandip is using more boost.
It does look like he's a little bit higher heat. I'm not sure exactly what amount it'll work out to be, but we'll find out by the time we get to the end of the next lap, I would assume.
Now Paige got higher heat.
Yeah, Kingbeandip being very conservative with his boosting through that section, perhaps trying to make these next straights just a little bit easier on the boosting.
And we're really close, but...
Oh, and they come onto the lake at the same time. Kingbeandip slightly lower heat.
Oh! I saw that coming. Just
Yeah, that turn.
Angle.
Yeah, that turn was never gonna work, unfortunately. Kingbean barely saving himself from a death there himself. Oh, speaking of, he barely saves himself again.
Yeah. This part that Paige just went over in Kingbeandip, that part has a lot of texture kill spots.
Yeah, if you go across at the wrong angle, you're gonna have too much speed when you land, and you're gonna clip the pitch change, and it's just gonna be. All right, and that's another point for Kingbeandip.
Match point for Kingbeandip.
Yep. Which means we do in fact see another pick for Paige, and it's gonna be Inferno.
He sure does.
Looks like Paige is
4 seconds.
all right. Potential last race of the match. We'll find out what happens here.
Yeah, Kingbeandip.
You're a Paige fan. Kingbeandip looking a little risky, little going for it.
Yeah. This track you have to go really risky on to do well in. Oh!
That's my. A lot better outcome for keeping the Paige, but yeah, that's definitely going to cost him a little bit. Make that death a little less painful, but that death is, yeah, not a fun one. And that's like 7 seconds.
Oh,
he beat again! Oh no!
Engine fire in the lava!
Oh, he's going to take massive engine damage from that if he can even repair the fire quickly. He's lucky to only be.
Repaired it that quick.
Yeah, he's lucky to be in the orange. Oh boy. That's a lot of mistakes, but somehow it still has not equaled the pace of Paige with a death. Paige is still behind after all. Kingbean, oh my goodness, I can't believe he made it. I thought he was dead for sure.
Into the orange.
Oh, it is!
Paige back in the lead.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, those rocks are incredibly deceptive. If you ever have a chance to look at the collision for this track, you'll see those rocks are some of the worst collision to visual model matches I've ever seen.
I saw that coming too from Paige.
Oh no, you cannot be that far to the right. Oh boy. Alright, Kingbeandip back into the lead. But this is still anybody's race at this point with the number of mistakes both of them have been making. They're practically tied. Maybe just like a little bit of a corner ahead.
Paige survived that. That was such a dicey angle.
Oh. And that is an untimely death from Paige. Kingbeandip probably just lost enough time that Paige could have made it back up, but now we're gonna need to see something extraordinary, and it's not gonna happen.
Yep.
247 for
Kingbeandip wins, which is how they. And this was pretty similar outcome to the last time they met in 2021. With round 3 concluded, the matches of the final round 4 that are based on the cumulative win-loss record of the previous 3 rounds are now set up. Goofbreast forfeited the entire tournament after round 3, meaning there will not be Goofbreast versus Nateman in round 4. The 7 remaining round 4 matches are Domeray versus Mikey Burger, as mentioned previously, Cook versus Magius, Radiant Variant versus Lilac Dryad, Homura versus Kingbeandip, Paige versus Ramapluto, Exodit versus Metallica, and Blue versus Balmus. These 7 matches will be spread just under 3 weeks, starting July 3rd with the conclusion of the final round 3 match of Metallica vs. Dummeray. The end result of round 4, which will be the final score of the Swiss bracket, will have 1 player winning all 4 matches, 4 with a 3-win, 1-loss score, 6 tied at 2 wins and 2 losses, 4 with a 1-win, 3-loss score, and 1 player losing all 4 matches. With Goofbrush's forfeiture, hopefully the top 8 will have a total point score greater than -4, which is Goofbrush's final score upon forfeiting the tournament. For the final round 4 of Swiss, the first track for each match that was selected by the qualifying track committee of Andy Panther, Hayudoro, and Gamedraco will be Baru Coast. A brutally winding course with only a single large straight on the beach to floor the boost on. Keep your wits to survive through the bends and claim the coast as your own. I will see you soon in a future episode and in the tournament as a staffer and commentator. Good luck, and may the force be with you.